YAH, please fill me with the Ruach HaKodesh, that I may speak your written words with boldness to those who listen. I ask all these things in Yeshua HaMashiach's name. Amen. We'll start with the Shema, listen and obey. Children of Yah, pay careful attention and respond. Yahweh is our power and authority. Yahweh works in unity with himself, and you shall act upon your love to Yahweh with your power and authority, with your thoughts and mind, with your entire body, and with all the muchness that you have. Exodus 24. To Moshe, Yahweh said, "Come up to Yahweh, you, Aaron, Nadav, Abihu, and 70 other leaders of Israel. Prostrate yourselves at a distance, while Moshe alone approaches Yahweh. The others are not to approach, and the people are not to go up with him." Moshe came and told the people everything Yahweh had said, including all the rulings. The people answered with one voice, "We will obey every word Yahweh has spoken." Moshe wrote down all the words of Yahweh. He rose early in the morning, built an altar at the base of the mountain, and set upright 12 large stones to represent the 12 tribes of Israel. He sent the young men of the people of Israel to offer burnt offerings and sacrifice peace offerings of oxen to Yahweh. Moshe took half of the blood and put it in the basins. The other half of the blood he splashed against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it aloud, so that the people could hear, and they responded, "Everything Yahweh has spoken we will do and obey." Moshe took the blood, sprinkled it on the people, and said, "This is the blood of the covenant which Yahweh has made with you in accordance with all these words." Moshe, Aaron, Nadav, Abihu, and 70 of the leaders went up, and they saw God of Israel. Under his feet was something like a sapphire stone pavement, as clear as the sky itself. He did not reach out his hand against these nobles of Israel. On the contrary, they saw God, even as they were eating and drinking. Yahweh said to Moshe, "Come up to me on the mountain and stay there. I will give you the stone tablets with the Torah and the mitzvot I have written on them, so that you can teach them." Moshe got up, also Yeshayahu, his assistant, and Moshe went up onto the mountain of God. To the leaders he said, "Stay here for us until we come back to you. See, Aaron and Hur are with you. Whoever has a problem should turn to them." Moshe went up onto the mountain, and the cloud covered the mountain. The glory of Yahweh stayed on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days. On the 7th day, he called to Moshe out of the cloud. To the people of Israel, the glory of Yahweh looked like a raging fire on the top of the mountain. Moshe entered the cloud and went up onto the mountain. He was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. I picked this on purpose because there's a huge learning point I had never seen before. God gave the Torah. The Torah, from an American's perspective, is the law and what we think of the 10 Commandments. However, the first 5 books of the Bible in Israel today, they're called the Torah. That is the entire 5 books of the Bible. That would mean that he had the entire 5 books of the Bible, called the Torah, written on them by our Creator so that he can teach them. Does that sound familiar? A great leader telling people to do what he's commanded them to do, teach them all the things I have shown you. Matthew 28, 16 through 20, the Great Commission. To me, that's huge. It's huge because the implications are massive. It means exactly what is written in the first 5 books of the Bible are exactly what our Creator wanted us to read. That means the creation story is literal. That means the things in the creation story are literal. Also, these men saw God and did not die. And when they saw God, it's very descriptive what they saw. Very descriptive. Again, the learning lesson today, the first 5 books of the Bible called the Torah, was written down by our Creator and handed to Moses, in order for him to teach the people to do all that he commanded. That's called the mitzvot. Huge, huge. We'll end with the Aaronic blessing. Yahweh will kneel before you presenting gifts, and he will guard you with a hedge of protection. Yahweh will illuminate the wholeness of his being toward you, bringing order. He will provide you with love, sustenance, and friendship. Yahweh will lift up the wholeness of his being and look upon you and will set in place all you need to be whole and complete. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.